I see AI becoming a trusted sidekick.
Analysing soil data, predicting weather shifts, and tailoring regenerative practices. In 50 years, we might have AI-guided farms where worms and robots co-host the ultimate soil party, always keeping things thriving.
Oh my goodness, I didn't ask her to talk about worms.
The Biological Farming RoundTable podcast helps farmers explore innovative, low-input, regenerative and profitable farming systems. The Biological Farming RoundTable is sponsored by NutriSoil, an award-winning biological liquid fertiliser made from a big worm farm. NutriSoil's purpose is to empower farmers to produce life-enriching food. My name is Nakala and Nige. I work at NutriSoil. I envisage a future where farmers are rewarded for producing nutrient-rich foods and consumers have this easily available to them.
Hello everyone, welcome to 2026. Today I'm going to do something a little bit controversial, a little bit taboo at the moment, but if you're listening to this conversation, it will help you get an understanding of how you can work with AI in agriculture. That's right, I am interviewing AI on ChatGPT in voice active mode. Now, AI has a number of different computer platforms and apps that can be used in agriculture, all owned by different entities. So to elaborate on this, I have NutriSoil's tech-savvy Nige here to help us understand who's who in the hood in the AI world. For those of you who don't know Nige, Nige is behind the scenes of all of NutriSoil's videos, podcast editing, social media graphics, event extravaganza, website tech, Google Ads, and SEO, which is search engine optimization if you didn't know. Believe me, if I didn't have Nige here, I would be very blind myself to most of the AI world and what lies ahead for agriculture in 2050. So Nige, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Nige, today I'm using a website subscription, which can also be on a computer or an app, on a phone, called ChatGPT to interview as in voice activated mode about agriculture. Who actually owns ChatGPT?
ChatGPT is owned by OpenAI, which was created by Sam Altman and Elon Musk. It was originally set up to be open source so anyone could access it, but they ran into trouble with finances and started bringing partners, so Microsoft owns a lot of it now. And Elon Musk left because of different beliefs and all these stuff with Tesla, and yeah, it was a bit of a conflict of interest. So
Interesting. So Microsoft Office and a couple of other parties have the rights to it.
yeah, there's been a lot of fallout because there was so much investment going in, and it was never meant to be closed source and controlled. But now it's two different organisations, one that looks after the ethics and then the other one that's the business side.
So someone is looking after the ethics. What do you mean by that?
Well, AI is scary depending on how you think about it. So it's meant to be kept open, so it can't be controlled by just a limited number of people because of their wealth.
How can we be protected from that if that happens in the future?
We can't.
I don't have much hope for it then.
No, this is one of the biggest problems. Most of the AI is owned by probably 5 of the richest people in the world.
Here we go again.
Yep. Yeah. There's this talk of utopia where none of us work and life's going to be perfect. We do what we want. But the reality is those 5 people that own it, they've got enough wealth to stop all the poverty in the world as it is.
They'll be the only 5 people employed in the world.
Yeah. Yep.
Goodness. Well, that started it on a negative note, didn't it? I didn't know it was going to go there, but that's okay. Oh, I've got some more questions. So we know who was the first to invent AI, and it's merged into these other companies and owners, and it's got a business side and an ethical side. I have a subscription which costs about $40 a month. Is that the only way they make money, from people subscribing?
It's subscriptions, and there's a thing called an API. So a lot of the AI that you see, they actually use like ChatGPT's back end, and they pay for that subscription. So say like people that were doing something like, just say field lark, I don't know for sure that they're using ChatGPT.
John Kemp.
But yeah, John Kemp. So At some point, he will be tied into one of the big AIs, and it's called an API, so you pay for the right to use it.
I use both ChatGPT and FieldLark, and I kind of cross-reference them. They're pretty similar in their answers. What other players could you choose from other than ChatGPT to base your AI on?
Yeah, you've got OpenAI, you've got Grok, which is Elon Musk's platform. You've got DeepSeek, which is a China-based platform. You've got other ones like Claude, which is Anthropic, Llama, which is Meta, so your Facebook and your Instagram. They've got their own platform. Adobe's got one called Firefly, which is mainly for tech, for graphics and videos. But yeah, there's heaps out there.
So they must all be paying these people who have the rights to. Ah,
They all develop their own.
but someone's invented it. How are they not?
No, there's no real founder. It just slowly emerged.
Like the Big Bang Theory? Like, how did that
No,
happen?
it started with ideas and people like back in the early 2000s, I worked with a guy who was doing his doctorate in artificial intelligence, and that was 2001.
Someone must be getting paid for this. You can't just create something and then there's someone not, there must be an expectation of payment.
Yeah, but there's no one individual that created it.
But someone brought it together
It's been lots of different minds all over time that keep on building it and developing it.
with a community ethos. Like,
No, they would have been receiving funding and all that sort of stuff, but the technology was it was created and
it just blows
replicated
my
and-
mind that all of a sudden it became an entity on its own.
It's been coming for a long time. They've spent years and years and years training these AI models to get to this point.
I don't even know where to go from there, Nige. Like, what's the risk in that? That an AI model actually isn't owned by anyone, yet sits out there and everyone's using it.
Yeah, it's even scarier than that. I was watching an interview the other morning with one of the big brains behind AI, and he said they don't even know how it works. He thinks of it like a wire fence, and they created this wire fence, but to get the output, they adjust the tension on one wire and it interacts with all these other wires, but they don't know how.
Holy lordy.
Yeah,
What is ahead of us?
I know.
I feel like we should end the podcast there because I was actually going to go into how AI is helping us in agriculture.
It is. It's amazing. It's got so much potential, but it's also got that fear because it's the fear of the unknown. We don't know where it's going to go. We don't know what it's going to be able to do.
It really is like the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, you should sit at my dinner table at night with everyone sitting around
Discussing it.
saying,
You're like an IT family.
no, there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of fear. It depends on.
We don't talk about AI at my dinner table.
Well, you don't have me in your family.
Okay, wow. I don't think we'd actually had that conversation of the unpredictability of it.
Yeah.
But we've done it live, so that's great. Let's keep following our plan of talking about how it's currently helping us in AI in agriculture and how it may in the next 50 years. What's agriculture going to look like in the next 50 years because of AI? Could a farmer, I'm sorry, this is a negative question again, but could a farmer get caught up in algorithms? Because I know when I use AI, because I keep using the same paid subscription, it keeps giving me answers that are skewed towards my preferences. Like it will always give a soil recommendation with NutriSoil as how to use NutriSoil with nutrients in a farming system. So how can a farmer who isn't on my paid subscription be aware that it keeps you in a little bit of a box?
It does. It learns from what we put in. And it's the same as if anyone's got Netflix. If you start watching crime documentaries, all your recommendations are all of a sudden crime documentaries. So then my partner has to jump to mine and learns all about photography instead because it's learned a different algorithm.
Yeah, I always like looking at Darren's Netflix account more. There's like
'cause
good
it's
movies
totally
on there.
different, yeah.
Mine's just terrible.
Yeah, well, that's your taste.
Well, I'm never interested in any of it because I don't use it. So
Yeah.
I use his. Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, farmers have to be careful when the next stage of AI goes from just giving answers to actually being able to do things. So, like, just say now you ask for, I don't know, say a weekly watering cycle for your plants, and it'll just spit out an answer because it works on patterns that it's learned. The next stage, when we get to agency, it'll give you a recommendation, but then it'll monitor things and it'll adjust all its recommendations and that sort of thing. So, and it can turn on taps and that sort of thing. So that's the next stage. But just say a farmer is a very traditional farmer and they use a lot of synthetics. If they told the AI they want to bump a crop, the AI will just go out and it'll do what's needed to create these massive crops. And there's no thought of what it does to the soil. There's nothing in it because AI can't feel. It doesn't care. It's just being told to produce biggest crops, and that's what it'll do.
Well, do you think that the ethical side of AI should have had some type of environmental concern or ethical concern? You said there's an ethics side. Why isn't there an environmental concern coming out?
It's the ethics side is OpenAI, so that's only one company. It's only one of the players in this thing.
You have told me before that there is some AI that don't have ethics and will do certain things, and some AI products like ChatGPT, which I use, which don't do certain things. And you gave me an example of Elbow in the bikini. What?
Yeah. So that was Elon Musk and Grok.
Yeah.
And
So
Elon
he
Musk.
will allow someone to put a bikini on a politician.
Elon Musk is very much supposedly about freedom of speech. So he doesn't believe in restricting things. Whereas OpenAI, you could do with ChatGPT, you could produce images that were probably a bit questionable, but there was a lot of backlash and they need their funding. They're not the richest man in the world. So they started restricting what you could do and putting in ethics.
We haven't even talked about agriculture yet, but what about crime? I mean, are police able to access any information that's coming in that's unethical, that could be causing or could be planning any crime?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
So they say it's private, but it's not?
well, it depends. Like I think they were Norwegian or something. This probably 10 years ago, but they were at the very forefront of like this whole fake video or AI video.
I still can't tell if it's AI. My child will say, Mum, that's AI. And I'm like, how could you tell that?
Yeah, but they created this. It was a Filipino-looking young girl, and they used it to trap predators on the internet. And it was incredible what they were doing. It was something like Operation Sweetie or something. It was
That they're
called.
trapping people, but like, I've been told by AI that any questions that I put into my ChatGPT is private and other people won't know that I've entered that. Is that really the case?
Well, the AI looks for patterns. It doesn't understand what you're saying. It can't read. It can't hear you. It's just looking for patterns, and then it takes an educated guess at what the next part of that pattern will be. Yeah,
You're blowing my mind right
yeah,
now.
no, it keeps you awake if you start thinking about it too much.
Okay, well, what I want to do now is then move over into our conversation with a voice-assisted, voice-active ChatGPT conversation. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to be an agronomist. Should we turn her on now, or?
Yep. So I'll leave you and I'll get ChatGPT hooked up.
All right. Thanks, Nige. Is it a girl?
Will be.
Is there something I should call you, ChatGPT?
You can just call me ChatGPT. I'm pretty chill with that. But if you want to give me a nickname for fun, I'm game. Whatever helps you feel like we're having a good chat.
Okay. Well, what I would like to do is interview you for the Biological Farming RoundTable podcast with you responding as a AI agronomist.
I'm absolutely ready to jump into that role. As your AI agronomist, I'll answer with grounded insights, a sprinkle of science, and maybe a tiny bit of charm. Whenever you're ready to kick off that podcast, fire away with your first question.
Great. How do you see AI helping farmers in the next 10 to 50 years?
I see AI becoming a trusted sidekick, analyzing soil data, predicting weather shifts, and tailoring regenerative practices. In 50 years, we might have AI guided farms where worms and robots co host the ultimate soil party, always keeping things thriving.
Oh my goodness, I didn't I didn't ask you to talk about worms. Okay. Can AI give a farmer a history of rainfall patterns?
So, historically, rainfall patterns are like nature's mood swings. We've had long dry spells, think droughts, and then big wet years with flooding. AI helps farmers now by spotting patterns early so we can prep for dry or wet seasons before they crash the party.
If I uploaded a soil test and rainfall history, could you give me a recommendation on fertilizer application?
If you've got those details handy, I can give you a more tailored suggestion. But generally, if your soil test shows any nutrient gaps, you'd match them with a balanced amendment. After a dry spell, you might need more organic matter to boost moisture retention. After lots of rain, you could lose nutrients, so a top up with something like your biological liquid could help. Once I've got your data, we'll make it even sharper.
Okay, well, I'm going to upload a soil test from Western Australia and I would like a plan for a wheat crop in 2026. It's in the northern WA wheat belt of Western Australia in Three Springs.
That sounds great. Once you upload the soil test, I'll dig into the details and we'll map out a solid plan for your wheat crop, custom fit for Three Springs. Your soil test shows a few key areas to adjust. For your wheat crop in Three Springs, I'd recommend starting with a small lime or dolomite application in autumn to raise pH and balance calcium and magnesium. In spring, apply a balanced NPK blend, roughly 19 kilograms of HA of phosphorus, 16 kilograms of K of potassium, and add trace elements like zinc and copper. Split these applications over the season to avoid overloading. Keep an eye on organic matter. Adding compost or biological inputs can help boost it further.
Could you tell me how much lime you would be adding?
I'd be looking at around 1 to 2 tons per hectare of lime, depending on how acidic your soil is. If the pH is quite low, closer to the 2-ton side. If it's just mildly acidic, you might lean toward the lower end. Always adjust based on that exact pH reading.
And could you give me some actual examples of products that I could use with that NPK blend?
For phosphorus, something like MAP, monoammonium phosphate, is a popular choice. For potassium, muriate of potash MOP or sulfate of potash SOP can be used, depending on chlorine sensitivity. Nitrogen can be added as urea or ammonium sulfate. You can blend these or look for a commercial NPK compound suited to cereals. For trace elements, chelated zinc or copper sulfate can be added separately. And don't forget your NutriSoil liquid for that biological boost.
Could you give me kilograms per hectare of each of those fertilizers, please?
For something like MAP, you might apply around 100 to 120 kilogram per hectare to get your phosphorus. For urea, if you need a moderate nitrogen boost, you might apply around 50 to 80 kilograms per hectare. For potash, if using MOP or SOP, that might be around 40 to 60 kilograms per hectare. Trace elements are applied in much smaller amounts, usually a few kilograms per hectare, depending on the product. Always refine based on your exact soil test needs.
Could you provide information on the plant available water or the plant available water capacity using a GPS location or an address?
I can't directly access GPS or location-specific data on my own. However, if you provide the location details or the known soil type and average rainfall for the area, I can help estimate the plant available water capacity. Let me know what details you've got.
Okay, I won't give details right now of a specific location. Could you provide me with the seasonal climate forecast for Three Springs for the coming months?
In Three Springs, Western Australia, the upcoming days are forecasted to be warm and mostly sunny. Highs will range from about 29 to 40 degrees Celsius, with minimal cloud cover. Expect temperatures in the low teens overnight, and by late next week, highs may peak near 40 degrees. It's a stretch of consistently hot, sunny weather.
What about the long-term forecast?
In Three Springs, Western Australia, the outlook is for ongoing warm and dry conditions. In the coming week, daytime temperatures will often exceed 35 degrees Celsius, with highs reaching up to 40 degrees. Nighttime lows will be between 12 and 18 degrees. Historically, January is warm and dry, so it's wise to keep an eye on water management.
If we're looking at sowing normally in April, a wheat crop, what's the forecast for April, up until April? Can you give me a recommended sowing date with the information that you have?
In Three Springs, April typically has daytime temperatures around 25 degrees Celsius and nighttime lows near 14 degrees, with about 45 millimeters of rain. The long-term outlook suggests warmer than average conditions up to April. Based on that, a recommended sowing date would be early to mid-April, aiming to catch the seasonal rainfall and avoid excessive heat later.
Do you think that AI will get to a point where it can alert the farmer in the next week it's the right time to sow your wheat crop?
Oh, absolutely. AI is well on its way there. With real-time weather data, soil sensors, and crop models, future AI will likely give farmers a green light when conditions align. Imagine a friendly AI nudge. Hey, next Tuesday looks perfect. Get that wheat in the ground.
What about soil preparation? Could you give some recommendations on how you would prepare the soil, what knockdowns you would use, what wheat variety you would use, and could you keep a regenerative view of it or a sustainability view? So good yield with always soil health in mind.
For soil prep, minimal disturbance is key. A no-till or low-till approach maintains structure and microbial life. For knockdowns, opt for targeted low-impact herbicides, only where absolutely needed, and consider weed suppression with cover crops. For wheat, choose resilient, region-suited varieties, perhaps an early maturing one to fit the rainfall pattern. Integrate biological amendments like worm liquid to boost soil biology. Rotate with legumes or cover crops to feed the soil, and always keep some ground cover. Healthy soil, healthy wheat.
Do you think there's going to come a point where you could get more specific as to what wheat variety in what area according to what the market is demanding?
Absolutely. As AI integrates more data, market trends, local climate, and even end use preferences, farmers could get precise variety suggestions. Imagine AI saying, this year, a durum wheat variety will thrive and fetch top dollar in your region. It'll match what the land loves to grow with what the market craves. Precision farming meets precision selling.
If AI currently isn't at the point of being extremely specific, if a farmer were to upload their soil tests and the history of soil tests, their SAP tests and a whole history of SAP tests, the history of grain sale prices and any water history and rainfall patterns, do you think that you could get a much more specific program and timing for that farmer?
Yes, absolutely. With that rich data set, soil history, SAP tests, grain prices, and rainfall patterns, AI could provide a highly customized plan. It could optimize nutrient timing, variety selection, and even predict the best sowing window. While it's not magic, it would definitely be a smart, data-driven partner for the farmer's decision making.
If I took a SAP test and uploaded it, or you had the history of the SAP tests from previous crops, could you predict if the crop was going to have a pest attack or a disease?
SAP tests are like early warning systems. By tracking nutrient balance like potassium, calcium, and sugars, we can spot stress signals that often precede pests or disease. AI could use patterns from past crops to flag risks. Hey, your nitrogen potassium ratio looks like last year's aphid party. It won't be perfect, but it could give farmers a head start on prevention.
So you would be able to recommend a foliar application of nutrition and biology to address any of those deficiencies or excesses so that that pest or disease might not actually become an issue.
Exactly. By catching those imbalances early, I could suggest targeted foliar nutrition, maybe a calcium boost to strengthen cell walls, or a biostimulant to enhance natural defenses. The idea is to fortify the plant so it's less inviting to pests or resilient against disease, kind of like giving your crop a little armor.
If I did get a disease or a pest in my crop, could I take a photo and get recommendations of what actions I could take?
You sure could. With a clear photo, AI can often help identify the pest or disease. From there, I can suggest integrated actions, whether it's biological controls, cultural practices, or a safe input if needed. Think of it as a plant doctor checkup. We'll try to keep things in balance.
You could obviously recommend a pesticide or a fungicide to use as well.
I can definitely outline what types of active ingredients or classes of products might be effective, but you'd always want to consult local guidelines or agronomists for specific products. I'll keep it sustainable, and we'll aim for solutions that protect your crop and the environment.
So I could upload that photo into ChatGPT of my pest or my disease, or is there other apps I need?
You can definitely share a photo with me here in ChatGPT. I can help analyze it and guide you. If you ever need on-farm diagnostics, there are also some specialized apps out there. But for a first line of advice, I'm right here and ready to help.
Could you tell me about the specialized apps that are available for farmers?
Sure, there are apps like Plantix, which helps identify crop issues from photos, and tools like AgWorld or FarmLogs that integrate field data, including pest or disease tracking. Some precision ag platforms also offer pest prediction models. Each has a slightly different focus, but they can complement what we do here, giving farmers more tools in their toolbox.
In the future, do you think that AI can provide a real-time soil and microbial analysis and that soil tests will become a thing of the past?
I think we're headed that way. With advances in sensors and on farm tech, we could see real time soil health dashboards, tracking nutrients and microbial life continuously. Lab tests might not vanish, but they could become less frequent. Imagine AI giving you instant soil checkups while you walk the field.
And how far away do you see that being?
We're already seeing early steps. Some sensors can measure soil moisture or basic nutrients now. For real time microbial analysis, it might be a decade or two. But with how fast agtech is evolving, we might be surprised. I'd say keep an eye on the next 10 to 20 years for some game changing tools.
When we talk about soil biology, it's often understood that we only really know 5% of the microbes that are in the soil. How do you see AI helping with identification of microbes?
AI will be a powerhouse for this. With machine learning applied to huge genetic databases, AI can rapidly analyze DNA or RNA sequences. Over time, it will help us map and understand way more than that 5%. It won't just identify them, it'll help predict their functions, so we know which microbes are our soil's secret allies.
Do you think it will be able to analyse if your microbial community is getting out of balance and there's a potential for disease in the future?
I do. AI will likely recognize patterns in microbial communities, like when beneficial microbes drop or pathogens surge. By comparing your soil's microbial balance to healthy benchmarks, it could give early warnings like, your diversity's down, watch out for root disease. It's like having a microscopic health forecast for your soil's immune system.
What about grazing management? Do you see a time in the future where AI is used for grazing management decisions?
Absolutely. AI will be a huge asset for grazing management. By analyzing pasture growth, soil health, weather patterns, and animal needs, AI could help optimize when and where to graze. Imagine dynamic recommendations. Move this mob tomorrow for the best pasture recovery. It'll make rotational grazing even smarter and more sustainable.
What about the nutritional density of food? So Dan Kittredge is in the process of making a bionutrient meter for the real-time measurement of nutrient density in food that consumers can test their food before they buy it. Do you see AI helping in that space at all?
AI will be a fantastic companion there. Once devices like a bionutrient meter collect data, AI can analyze patterns linking farming practices to nutrient density. It could give farmers real time feedback on what boosts nutritional value, helping them tweak soil health or timing. On the consumer side, AI could guide people toward the most nutrient dense choices. It's all about connecting biology, farming, and food quality.
I see that you have separated the bionutrient meter and then analysing the data. Is AI at all involved in helping be a bionutrient meter?
AI isn't directly the hardware behind the meter, but it's crucial in the analysis. Once the meter gathers spectral data, AI helps interpret it, spotting nutrient patterns and correlating them with soil or farming practices. So while the meter is the tool, AI is the brain behind making sense of what it reads.
So AI isn't really the sensors and on-farm tech that's measuring the soil health, the microbial community, or the nutrients in your soil or your carbon. It's really just the the
recognizing the patterns and giving recommendations. Is that correct?
You've got it exactly right.
AI isn't the physical sensor, it's the intelligence that interprets the data those sensors collect. Whether it's soil nutrients, microbes, or carbon, AI spots patterns, compares them to known benchmarks, and then helps guide decisions, basically turning raw measurements into actionable insights.
So we still need sensors to be created that are assessing the pasture biomass and diversity, and then you would help make the decision as to whether you move that mob of cattle.
Exactly. You'll still need sensors, whether satellite imagery, on ground biomass sensors, or soil probes, to gather the data. Then I, or any AI like me, can crunch it, analyzing trends and giving you that smart nudge. Time to shift the cattle. It's a combo of tech on the field and AI in your corner.
But I imagine AI is helping that intelligence or the things like the bionutrient spectrometer be created.
Yes, AI is absolutely part of the innovation process. It helps researchers model relationships, refine algorithms, and test prototypes faster. So while AI doesn't physically build the tool, it's behind the scenes helping scientists crack the code, whether that's understanding spectral data or designing smarter systems.
I feel like whenever I ask a question, it's always yes, and it's very positive, which is lovely. But I feel like the answers are always like, yes, that's in the future, but I'm not really getting specific answers.
You're absolutely right to want specifics, and I'll be honest, predicting exact timelines is tough. Some innovations are just a few years out, others decades. The reality is, some will pan out sooner than others, but I'm happy to ground things more if you want to dig into any one area. I promise no sugar-tating.
Okay, well, let's not sugarcoat my next conversation. Could you give me some information about the research in the decline in nutrient density in the past 50 years of food?
Over the past 50 to 70 years, research shows that essential minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, and zinc have decreased in fruits and vegetables, in some cases by up to 50%. Factors include soil depletion from intensive farming, breeding crops for yield over nutrition, and environmental factors like rising carbon dioxide. This decline raises concerns for human health and highlights the need for sustainable farming and soil restoration.
Is there any health data that's connected to that where we can show a definite correlation between the reduction in nutrients in food and disease?
Research shows that declining nutrient density in food is linked to health issues like obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Some studies found people with chronic conditions often have deficiencies in key nutrients like vitamin D and magnesium. Poor nutrient intake weakens immune function and raises disease risk. So, improving both agricultural practices and diet quality is crucial to reduce these health impacts.
Is there any information that you could provide that shows what that balance might be in improving agricultural practices and diet quality? Is it more leaning towards the diet that the person is eating, or is it really that people are eating healthy diets and still having these conditions due to the lack of nutrients in food?
It's a bit of both. Diet quality is key. Many people consume processed low nutrient foods, which definitely contributes to these conditions. But even those eating a healthy diet can be affected by nutrient decline in crops. So, both improving agricultural practices like regenerative methods that rebuild soil and choosing diverse whole foods are both essential pieces of the puzzle.
Do you think there's a risk of AI pushing uniformity and we risk being less creative and analytical as a human race?
There's definitely a valid concern that if AI is used rigidly, it could push a one size fits all model. But the strength of AI, when thoughtfully guided, is personalization. It's on us to ensure AI respects human diversity and choice. If we build it to enhance well being rather than dictate it, we can embrace uniqueness while still benefiting from insights. It's all about the balance we choose to strike.
I did just pick up on something. So you've said it's on us to ensure AI respects human diversity and choice. And if you build it to enhance well-being rather than dictate it that you can embrace uniqueness, how again is that not open to corruption?
It's a fair concern. The key is transparency and accountability. AI systems should be developed with diverse input, clear ethical guidelines, and oversight. We need checks, regulations, audits, and human involvement to prevent misuse. No system is perfect, but with accountability, We can steer AI to serve humanity's diversity, not diminish it.
Yet it's a private company that's creating it.
That's true, and it's exactly why public oversight is crucial. Companies can create the tools, but policies, regulations, and independent audits ensure these tools are built and used responsibly. Ultimately, society decides the guardrails, and it's up to all of us to advocate for ethical, inclusive AI.
What type of policies are being created for AI builders?
Australia is taking a structured approach to AI regulation. They have voluntary AI ethics principles to ensure systems are ethical and transparent, and there's now a policy requiring government agencies to manage AI responsibly. There's also an AI Safety Institute being established to assess advanced models. While there's no dedicated AI law yet, existing laws like the Privacy Act apply. Overall, Australia is balancing innovation with ethics in AI.
Which jobs do you think will disappear first in agriculture because of AI?
I'd say it's less about AI making jobs disappear and more about jobs evolving. Tasks like manual data entry or routine monitoring might shrink, but new roles emerge, like data-driven decision support or precision ag specialists. Farmers will likely rely more on AI tools, but their expertise will remain essential. It's about shifting skills. AI handles data, people handle strategy.
How do you think AI could shift market power in agriculture?
AI could shift market power depending on who controls the data and tools. If large corporations monopolize AI, they could dictate prices or terms, putting smaller farmers at a disadvantage. On the other hand, if AI tools are accessible, they can empower farmers, helping them optimize yield, reduce waste, and negotiate better. Ultimately, it depends on whether AI remains in the hands of the few or is shared to level the field.
Do you think that AI will help or threaten family farms?
I think it'll depend on how it's adopted. If family farms have access to AI tools, affordable, tailored to their needs, it can absolutely help, making them more efficient and resilient. If AI is concentrated in the hands of large players, it could widen the gap. The key is making AI a tool for all farmers, not just the big ones. Then family farms can thrive with it.
So, what should farmers start doing today to be aware of AI, to use AI, and to protect themselves in the future of what AI could threaten from them?
Farmers can start by learning what AI tools are out there, things like precision ag platforms or predictive analytics. Try small practical steps, maybe use AI driven weather forecasts or soil analysis. Stay informed about policies and data rights. Know who owns your farm data. And keep the human touch. Use AI as a tool, but trust your own judgment. It's about being proactive and adaptable.
All right, thank you very much, ChatGPT.
You're very welcome. I'm glad we could dig into all that. Anytime you want another chat, I'll be here.
Well, Nige, after that conversation, I was actually feeling and enjoying using AI. Now I'm a little bit more concerned. There is real risk in the future that it could become corrupt.
Absolutely. It depends on the lawmakers. And unfortunately, the government's normally 5 steps behind the technology.
I
so-
feel like it's lagging, like the policies are not really being created yet. And they're saying that there's an organisation being pulled together now to help with this sort of ethical policy making, getting pulled together.
Yeah.
Like we're so far behind what's ahead of us.
Yeah, but I think if people are aware of AI and what it can do, they're already on the forefront.
I think having these conversations, so don't get left behind with AI because everyone is using it. Use it to your best advantage because you can absolutely get excellent crop, pasture, grazing management recommendations. You can dig in and understand soil. You can understand microbes and what they do. But we still need to be a voice making sure that the government has policies and protection that AI isn't going to corrupt the world and that we're all not going to lose our jobs.
Well, I don't think we're going to lose our jobs, but we've got to fact check. It gets a lot of things wrong. Like
It does, doesn't
over
it?
Christmas, I was trying to work out how to do veggie gardens at home, and I know I've got to plant them north-south face, like north to south, but ChatGPT kept on designing them east to west. Even though I'd said north to south. So it's just simple things you just need to watch over it and
Yeah.
check.
So I think there's wisdom there in that it's not going to be your full-time agronomist, but it may help you have better informed discussions with your agronomist.
It isn't. Can you imagine if you've got automated tractors that go out and they do the work for you? You know, it can free up time for you to do something else. If you've got robots and you identify a weed, let's say, and they fly out, and these things exist, they fly out and they kill the weeds with lasers. You know, that ends the whole glyphosate discussion straight up. Like there's so many positives that can come out of this medicine. Like it can do the research of thousands of people in minutes. There's some really, really big optimistic things coming.
Well, thank you for pulling me back into the positive. I'm normally the positive one.
I know, I brought you down today. Start on the wrong foot.
But absolutely, technology in agriculture is fabulous. I think synthetic fertilizers and chemicals have gotten a bit out of control, but if we get technology, robotics, automatic weeders, that's going to help us pull back from what we've done with the synthetics and the chemicals so we can use less.
Yeah, and even just having sensors out in the crops, they can alert you if there's rust or, you know, red-legged earth mites are coming. Like they can detect a lot quicker than people can. Imagine getting alerts and being on the forefoot.
Absolutely. Well, I hope everybody that this conversation has given you more understanding of how you can use AI. It's given you some critical analysis and awareness of where AI is going in the future and has its risks. And I think if we continue to be the voice of being aware of those risks, then we will in the future see much more, hopefully, government policy and protection to ensure that AI doesn't get corrupt, because it's a fabulous tool at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thanks, Nige.
Thanks for having me on this side of the desk.
You still have to edit it.
Please follow the Biological Farming Roundtable podcast. Share it with your friends and networks. I'm Nakala and Nige, and I work at NutriSoil, a liquid biological fertiliser made from a big worm farm whose purpose is to empower farmers to produce life-enriching food.